Hey, Devlin Marino.
Hey, Joe Staley.
Which two NFL head coaches would make the cutest couple?
Todd Bowles, and I want him to get back back. I want him to get back together with Bruce Arians.
Why do you think this would be a cute couple?
Everyone loves interracial.
Everyone.
Everyone
loves interracial.
Everyone does.
What about their personalities really makes you think they would be a cute couple?
What makes me think that, well, they coach together, but Todd Bowles is rough, and he knows how to get in the defense and turn around a team, and then Bruce Arians is like, hey, let's give Carson Palmer a chance. He gave fucking Carson Palmer a chance, and look what's happening. So, like...
Carson Palmer's looking good.
Looking good. So, like, they just kind of, like, mesh.
Yeah. I think Rex Ryan and Bill Belichick would make a cute couple.
A cute couple? You think there's just, like, sexual tension there because they hate each other?
Absolutely. And I bet they're both into foot stuff.
Well, everyone knows that Rex Ryan's into foot stuff.
And Bill Belichick's a weirdo.
Bill Belichick is probably into, like, extreme bondage, tentacle porn.
Yes. And, like, also there is, like, good, like, hate, love, hate-ish kind of...
You know what I think? You know what I'd really like?
All right.
Pete Carroll.
Okay.
Pete Carroll and, I'm just trying to think, is like Pete Carroll.
Chip Kelly.
Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly? That's a good one.
Because they both came out of the Pac-10. Because I'm pretty sure when Pete Carroll left, it was still...
Mike Tomlin and Pete Carroll. Mike Tomlin looks like...
Do you care to elaborate?
Mike Tomlin looks like he needs, like, the playfulness of Pete Carroll to, like, calm him down. And, like, Pete Carroll gets along with a lot of the black dudes on the Seahawks, so maybe he'd get along with...
It all comes down to race.
I don't know, like, Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin looks like he needs a Pete Carroll in his life. To me, Pete Carroll is the less fun Joe Biden of the NFL.
Pete Carroll is like not serious enough to like live on his own responsibly.
I feel like he comes home every day.
He needs that Mike Tomlin anchor in his life.
He probably like comes home with like 2 pounds of Cheez-Its and they're like, Pete
Carroll.
On sale, BJ's.
I bought 17 gallons of Cheez-Its. They came in milk jugs. That's pretty weird.
I saw it looked really good, and the guy at Costco said, it make me grow.
I love this accent we're giving to Pete Carroll. This makes no sense. This is a sports podcast, and this is Sports Ball. I am Joe Saley, and my cohort is Devlin Marino.
That is me.
And Devlin has a no-brainer that he would like to stage to myself and the audience.
Okay, so
all two of...
So Devlin Marino, no-brainer question, or is it, of the week is...
Of the week!
Did Scott Walker drop out of the Republican race because, simply, he wasn't talking about them Knowles?
Scott Walker did not establish a Knowles position, whereas Marco Rubio did, and Marco Rubio's still in the race. Scott Walker is not.
I feel like you have to talk about them Knowles.
I feel like none of the other candidates have talked about the Knowles enough.
No.
Carly Fiorina needs to start talking about the Knowles.
I feel like Carly Fiorina would be like, oh, let me tell you how much...
We're going to go to war with the Knowles.
Let me tell you how much I love...
We're going to cut off communication with the Knowles. I've met the Knowles before.
I saw a video of the Knowles eating a baby.
Not okay.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. We're gonna fucking segue out of that one. Into actual sports. I think maybe.
Yeah.
So our weekly segment, 3 games, 1 game, in which we talk about 3 games we actually liked and were good, and 1 game we thought was basura. Yeah. The first game that I would like to talk about is Ole Miss at Alabama. Um, because I love seeing Alabama lose.
Something deep with me likes when Alabama wins. Sometimes though.
Like, yeah, but it's like Mississippi beat Alabama.
I mean, I like when Alabama wins because I don't know, their running backs have like this wonderful place in my heart.
Every single Alabama running back is a future second round pick.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Unless you're Mark Ingram.
Unless you're Mark Ingram and maybe we don't talk about Trent Richardson.
I think Derrick Henry could go first round. He's really good.
Yeah, but like think about first round Alabama running backs. Either way, this is not relevant to
not
Ole Miss,
relevant.
Alabama.
Please talk about the game, Mr. Staley.
Chad Kelly got real lucky in certain points, and Ole Miss had some pretty snazzy helmets, and they went out and won. And I think Ole Miss will probably be pretty good. And I think Ole Miss versus LSU will end up deciding much about this college football season. And I think Alabama, this could be the end of it.
No.
This could be Alabama's, like,
It's never
first
the end.
stumble. This could be Alabama's first stumble into a
They lost to them
second
last year.
stumble. Yeah, but like
They still were the, first seed?
chinks in the armor are like starting to rust and like, creak when they move. Alabama's not looking so great anymore, just like Oregon.
Well,
And also,
Oregon could never finish.
this is true. I have 10 seconds left, and Chad Kelly has not yet threatened to shoot Ole Miss with an AK-47, so he's doing real good there, is what I wanted to say. What was your game that you'd like to talk about this week?
My one game I really liked was the Eagles versus Cowboys.
That game was trash.
This is why I liked it, okay? One, it like just epitomizes the NFC East. It was like, hey, do you want to watch every NFC East game ever? Watch this game. Oh, Tony Romo getting hurt. Okay wide receiver play. Running backs failing to get past the line of scrimmage. People getting burnt really bad by receivers. Not to mention that you had Jordan Matthews and DeMarco Murray on your fantasy team, and
Jordan Matthews did fine.
he was doing really bad until then he did okay. But still,
Yeah, so
I won in fantasy. I beat you because DeMarco Murray's because the Eagles' offensive line is so bad.
we don't have to mix business with pleasure here, Devlin. Bringing fantasy football into this shit. Not necessary. So, are there any other reasons why this game just stuck out to you?
Tony Romo got hurt. I don't. There's nothing really against Tony Romo. It's just like
Tony Romo and Des Bryant are hurt.
You know what? You know what? I really liked. I was watching it, and they kept showing Brandon Weeden on the bench, and like he knew he was going in, and he wasn't warming up. Brandon Weeden was like, "What's up? I'm play football."
Brandon Weeden is basically the crypt keeper at this point, right? That's how old he is?
He's old. He got drafted at like 20.
Brandon Weeden's almost 32.
He got drafted at 39, 38? I mean 28, 29.
38. Don't get off the bench and show these youngsters a thing or two. You got 20 seconds left. Anything else you'd like to say?
There's nothing really that was that amazing about that game.
What I think is being set up there is perhaps the legendary Matt Castle, the Cole Beasley connection.
You think?
Absolutely. What's better than that?
I think he'll like oddly throw to Escobar.
Somehow they're going to find another Escobar, and that's time. Moving on to the second game that I like this week. Brigham Young I'm not sure if it was at UCLA, I'm pretty sure it was. UCLA has themselves a fine young quarterback, and if you haven't heard of him yet, you most definitely will at some point over the next, 4 years. His name is Rosen, that is his last name, and Rosen is 18. Josh Rosen, I believe. It could be Jeff Rosen. Shit.
Just go.
Josh Rosen. He is 18. He was born in February 1997, and he is a true freshman starting at a Pac-12 school, and he is looking incredible.
He's
And
done pretty good.
yeah, and he can end up being really good, especially because he has at least 3 more years to get better and better. I think UCLA in like 3 years, if they get good enough players,
They
could end up being
always
really
seem to
good.
pump out pretty good linebackers.
UCLA could be really good. Given like 3 years, UCLA could be up there fighting for the playoff, especially if Rosen seems to be this good.
Yeah.
The Rosen one.
Oh,
Josh.
that was a good one. I like that.
Well, yeah, that is what his teammates started calling him back in like August before he even started a game. So that is my totally serious take about that game. Also, BYU.
Do you have a dumb take about the game?
BYU, those poor Mormons got their asses handed to them.
Do BYU football players have to wear Mormon underpants?
BYU football players definitely have to drink non-alcoholic beer.
Do they wear...
Because God said you can fuck multiple women, but God forbid you touch alcohol. That's time.
Okay, so honestly, these games I'm picking are so shitty.
Yeah! You like seriously, you picked 4 bad games.
I picked 4 bad... Well, I mean, the next one is just me going hype about the guy that I've loved since I saw him in high school. But okay, so my next game is Raiders versus Baltimore. I like this because of only two single people. Derek Carr showing that he's pretty fucking good, and I don't care what anyone says about that. Derek Carr's...
Amari Cooper is also incredible.
That was the other person. Amari Cooper's, like, crazy.
Yeah.
Did you see they compared him to Odell Beckham last year, and he's already doing, like... His, like, speed after the catch is better.
He, like seriously, he is making professional corners who have played the game for, like, 5 or more years look like children.
I mean, he did that in the SEC... And right now, I knew he was gonna have a really good a good transformation.
Yeah.
But you didn't think it would be this instant.
No.
No one thought it would be, because like whenever
he already looks like one of the best like wide receivers.
Because when a rookie wide receiver comes in, they never make an instant impact.
No.
Like Odell Beckham, Kelvin Benjamin, Sammy Watkins, they didn't make an instant impact last year.
No. But man, Cooper looks really good through 2 games.
Yeah, and I honestly,
Raiders just need a defense now.
Yeah, and they have Mac.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, he's really underrated, but he's really good. Yeah, so pretty much what I got out of this game is Max Williams isn't living up to the hype. Crockett Gilmore had touchdowns.
Joe Flacco still sucks.
This is a different time. And
that's time!
I like Amari Cooper. That's all I can say.
You don't get to come back. Joe Flacco debate will continue to be put off. The third good game, in quotes, that I'd like to talk about, because we're both from Buffalo and we're obligated to do this, is the 1-0 New England Patriots faced off against the 1-0 Buffalo Bills in beautiful, sunny, temperate weathered Orchard Park, New York, this past Sunday. And the Bills were, ended up being favored by, analysts.
They were, everyone.
The spread turned, last minute. Holy shit, the Bills are favored by a point over the Patriots, who they've beaten 3 times since Tom Brady became a thing. And, Bills got their asses handed to them.
Yeah, and then they almost had a comeback, but it was
It was a bogus comeback.
It was garbage time comeback.
Yeah.
It was fantasy point comeback.
Sammy Watkins owners loved that comeback. But Bills still shouldn't be disheartened for losing to the Super Bowl champs. Bills to go out and beat the shit out of Miami.
Yeah, they're gonna really, really bring out the anger this week. I think Gilmore is going to lay the fucking heat on Kenny Stills, Landry, or Even Greg Jennings.
Man, they have a lot of wide receivers. Not going to make a comment on how good they are, but they got a lot of them.
They got a lot of the guys that are like, they were good once.
Tom Brady's still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, nothing. He's not gonna get like worse. I mean, everyone gets worse, but it's not like he's gonna like become Peyton Manning anytime soon.
Tom Brady's really good, and the Bills' defense once again looked like children trying to slow him down. That's time.
All right. So my final game I liked was LSU versus Auburn, which you could consider it a bad game, but honestly, what I liked about it was
terrible TV.
Once again, yeah, whatever. What I'm saying is Leonard Fournette showed again. He's outstanding. I remember it was 2 years ago. I think I saw a video of his highlights in high school, and I was like, shit, this kid's really good. Then he went into LSU, and he had a good year last year.
Mm-hmm.
He was still really good last year. He hit people hard. He's a big guy, and
he kind of looks like the big kid at Little League who would just like hit home runs every time he went up. Whereas everyone else looks like children around him.
He looks like the kid when you'd play like Pee Wee football who would like his dad would get so fucking hype on the sideline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, you kidding me, reps?
He's like, you see that? So like
he's going D1, and then
Fournette is insane. Like that Auburn player got thrown.
Yeah. Many Auburn players got thrown. Hands were laid.
Leonard Fournette is going to be a really good running back. Honestly, the SEC always pumps out like good running backs, but they don't pump them. When I mean pump out, I don't mean they're going to the NFL. I mean like they're in the SEC and then something horrible happens.
Yes.
Like Gurley, Lattimore. It happens a lot, and it's really bad that it just happens so often, and I don't want it to happen to Fournette.
Also, Auburn looked like steamed turds after almost getting beaten by Jacksonville State. This could be a bad Auburn year. This could be like this could be a bad Auburn year.
The thing with Auburn, it's like every other year they have a bad year.
Yeah, and then they're going to fire Gus Malzahn, and then they're going to go get another guy, and he's going to take him to a national title, and then they're going to, fire him. And that's time.
Okay, go with your bad game.
My bad game was originally going to be Eagles-Cowboys because it was by all rights and logic a bad football game. But I have decided to change it to Texas Tech and Arkansas, which wasn't actually a bad game. I watched the whole thing, every single second of it.
Big Arkansas fan?
Yeah. What I wanted to talk about was the just legendary shit-talking. Brett Bielema is a large man who is known to shit-talk. For instance, when he beat Texas, he kneeled down the clock at the Texas 1-yard line or something, and then he goes into the press conference all sweaty, and like Brett Bielema's big dude, and Brett Bielema says that was borderline erotic. Kneeling down right at their 1-yard line. And he also said Texas Tech goes out and like Texas Tech goes out and passes the ball 70 times a game and doesn't use a fullback, we're going to kick their ass. And then Texas Tech roundly beat Arkansas. And then Cliff Kingsbury, who is the most young, youthful, beautiful coach in college football, just lobbied shit talk after shit talk at him after the game, saying, "We just went out and kicked their ass." And it was so good because like they clearly hate each other, which is weird because they're not even in the same conference. But like Texas Tech, Arkansas is going to be circled on that schedule every year, and also both those coaches just like really make me happy. and I'm an Arkansas fan. Which,
big Razorbacks fan.
They're 1-2, but I'm still a fan. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that game. That was absolutely hilarious and
Okay,
delightful.
so my bad game was Denver versus Kansas City.
Is Peyton Manning good?
No. You know what?
Shit.
This is the thing I think about this team now. It's like Peyton's really showing how he's slowing down like a lot.
Peyton Manning is 39.
And
No quarterback who is 39 or older has ever started a full game.
a full season?
Or full game.
Full game.
Full season.
Okay.
No quarterback.
Also, what this all these games are proving is how people overvalued C.J. Anderson so much.
I almost traded for C.J. Anderson last week in fantasy.
You really shouldn't have, because the thing with C.J. Anderson is so last year every running back they had did good. I don't know if you noticed this. Ronnie Hillman was doing fantastic. Gets hurt. C.J. Anderson comes in, does the same exact thing. It must have been the line because C.J. Anderson isn't putting up the same things, and
Ryan Clady's hurt.
Clady is, yeah. And the thing with Manning is still throwing a lot of touchdowns because they do have a very strong.
It's sad
receiving
though.
core.
Peyton Manning isn't good anymore.
No, he isn't.
It's weird.
He isn't that good, but he's still because they
Peyton Manning's going to be a game manager.
have such strong receiving core there too, which upsets me. That like they all went to Denver. Like Emmanuel Sanders was in Pittsburgh. Imagine if Pittsburgh had all the receivers they used to have. Like what if they still had Emmanuel?
What if they still had Lima Swede?
I was just gonna say, what if they still had Mike Wallace, Emmanuel Sanders, and Antonio Brown?
Well, I think Lima Swede is far more valuable than any of
Did
those
you
players.
know that in Madden 10, if you play like 3 years on franchise, Limas Swede becomes like an elite receiver?
I do not doubt the validity of this statement. In real life, though, Lima Swede had 7 catches for 69 yards. And played last year for the Ottawa Red Blacks! I have to say like that because the Ottawa Red Blacks style it as like all caps. That's how Ottawa stylized it. So they're the Ottawa Red Blacks! But yeah, so,
so just
Christ.
and then the Kansas. I mean, I really like players on Kansas. Like I really think Jamal Charles is I think he might be the best.
Yeah.
It's a big I think, because I mean, it's still the beginning, but I think last year he was probably the best.
So, like, yeah, that...
And I like Travis Kelce.
Kansas City gave up that... Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like Travis Kelce? But, like, Kansas City gave up that game.
Yeah, that was just sad.
Yep. Yeah, it was sad. No.
Alex Smith is just, like, kind of Joe Flacco.
Bum, 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 bum.
All
right, so, we are done with 3 games, 1 game, and we would like to move on to our second weekly segment of this podcast. We would like to move on to Dumb Headline of the Week, in which we pick a headline, usually sports, but not necessarily sports, and we talk about it. And we're going to talk about baseball right now, y'all. We're going to talk about the great American pastime.
This didn't even take place in America.
Nope, it did not. It did not. The headline is Pantsless Dude Rips Children's Urinal Off Wall, Floods Blue Jays Stadium. And I have been to the Rogers Center more than once, seeing Blue Jays games. It is a delightful place. It is kind of outdated compared to some of the other baseball stadiums that I've been to, but
dude on PCP?
we're gonna get to the dude, okay? Rogers Center's nice though. Nothing bad about the Rogers Center. Food's expensive, but like, you know, that's sports. And the Blue Jays are doing well right now. Leading the AL East, looking like they're gonna get this playoff bid.
Baseball happens.
Yeah. But ooh. during a game in which they lost at home to the terrible Boston Red Sox, 7-6. A dude who was apparently very well beveraged.
He wasn't on PCP? Jesus Christ, this is...
No, he was just super drunk.
Jesus.
This dude pulled a urinal off of a wall.
That is insane. That's...
Not only that, but, like, it flooded the 500 level. The whole 500 level was, like, underwater. I've been to the 500 level at Rogers Center, and that's when it stops becoming a sports stadium and when it starts becoming a warehouse. So, like, already not great. But, like, apparently it was, like, full panic, and, like, staff weren't letting people get out of their seats or, like, go to the causeways at all because there was water everywhere because a drunk dude decided to pull a urinal off of a wall. And that's baseball, folks.
All right, so... Yeah.
I actually have one more Rogers Center thing to say.
Please do.
When I was 8 or 9, maybe 7, Christ, I went to a Rogers Center game, Yankees Blue Jays. I used to be a big Yankees fan. And the Rogers Center has a hotel inside of it. So, like, you can book a room at this place, and then you have, like, windows looking over the baseball stadium. And they are in center field, and it probably sounds pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
But if you have a huge window that is, like, open for people to look inside of it, you're going to run into some problems.
Did you see someone having sex as a child, Joe?
Yes.
That is...
In Rogers Center, up against the window.
They were probably...
What did they think?
They were probably like, Dan, you want to do it? And he was like, fuck yeah, Karen.
Dan and Karen. But, yeah, so that's the Rogers Center. People ripping urinals off walls and sex out a window. Anyway,
Okay,
please.
So my dumb headline in the week. My dumb headline in the week involves everyone's favorite superhero, Florida Man.
Florida Man in the Florida van.
So Florida Man. Okay. So I have two headlines involving our favorite superhero, Florida Man. Florida Man attacks girlfriend after catching her reading ex-boyfriend's obituary.
Yeah. Florida Man.
What is this?
It's Florida. Clearly you haven't been to Florida.
I've been to Florida.
Well, then you weren't there enough. Also, where in Florida?
Oh,
because
Tampa.
Tampa, Orlando is where all the crazy people are.
I drove through, too. I saw Jacksonville, and I was like, oh, this is a sad city.
But, so, Florida Man is a much-traveled superhero. For instance, also today, a puppy shot Florida Man in self-defense.
That was my other Florida Man headline. So a puppy shot. Okay, so the Florida Man was like, oh, these puppies aren't selling. So the Florida Man, because you know how like he loves animals. Florida Man couldn't sell puppies, so Florida Man was gonna kill all the puppies.
A 3-month-old shepherd mix, and Jerry Allen Bradford was holding one puppy in his arms and another in his left hand when one dog wriggled out of his grasp and placed his paw on the trigger of the .38 caliber revolver and shot the dude. A puppy shot a guy in Florida. That's where Florida's at right now.
I don't know. I really like...
It's because the man was talking about the nose.
Oh, was it talking about them nose?
Yep. Dog was a big Florida snake.
Oh, this was another one I just saw. This is horrible. Florida man rips out his girlfriend's guts after she screams her ex's name during sex.
Yeah!
Jesus Christ.
This is what Florida Man does.
Florida Man!
Florida man puts crack cocaine on his chicken sandwich. That's the kind of thing that happens in Florida.
Florida man drives stolen car to meet probation officer.
Yeah. Man. 90-year-old Florida man arrested for feeding the homeless.
Florida woman befriends polite raccoon.
Aw. So sad. Poor Florida men.
Florida man arrested for fight with his girlfriend over Doritos.
Florida man finally knows himself after 11 years of amnesia. And he was like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm from Florida. Florida man has foreskin ripped off by grinding too hard at show. By the way, these are all real, just so you know.
None of these are made up.
No, that's the best part. So, yeah.
Florida man.
Yeah. Fucking Florida man's just out here doing his thing.
Florida man went to that Alabama college in Florida. Or is that in Georgia?
Other way around. Jacksonville, Alabama.
Jacksonville, Alabama. Shit.
But yeah, so that was the weekly adventures of Florida man.
Florida man!
So, so that's all we have for our,
Dumb headlines
usually
of the
scheduled
week.
content. We have some, little things we'd like to talk about before we leave y'all.
Obviously.
Would you like to, introduce the, first one we got here?
Of course. So, this year, who is your favorite rookie and your least favorite rookie?
My favorite rookie is a human being by the delightful name of Marcus Mariota.
Okay, elaborate, sir.
He is Hawaiian and pretty good at sports. That's all I got.
Is he the guy that works at Popeyes?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I like him.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's also that guy in a hula skirt.
He won the Heisman, or wait, did he win Employee of the Month? Who am I thinking of the right one?
No, you are thinking of his twin brother, Marcus Mariota.
Okay.
You know, yeah, you don't want to get those confused.
All right. So my favorite rookie.
Yep.
Amari Cooper.
He's pretty good at sports.
I really like him. I really think he's gonna do good. You know what the thing with Alabama's like, their running backs and their wide receivers are complete different stories.
Yeah.
The running backs are always like, he's okay. They have, every once in a while, they have a wide receiver who's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
He's the new Julio.
Whereas Alabama quarterbacks
Are just off.
are every single Alabama quarterback is a 5th round pick.
Yeah.
And for our least favorite rookies,
Uh-huh.
I have a bit of one that's out of left field.
Please.
John Miller.
Oh, the guy on our team.
John Miller was a 3rd round pick out of Louisville.
Okay.
He kind of a football player.
Kind of.
Plays for the Bills. He is our starting right guard, and he was handed the job pretty much day one he got here, because that is how dire the Bills' offensive line situation is.
It's kind of sad.
And he looked good in preseason, and he looked good in training camp, but he has been an absolute turnstile.
Yeah.
I actually have a hot off the presses thing that I would like to talk about really quick, as long as we're talking about rookies.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston is what I would like to talk about. Sonny Dykes praises Cal QB Jared Goff because he's never stolen any crab legs. And that's all I have to say about Jameis Winston, is that he stole some crab legs.
Honestly, I've been to Publix, and I would steal crab legs if I had to.
Hey man, Publix is pretty cool.
Publix has really good key lime pie.
Yeah.
I had it, and I was kind of like, holy shit.
Dude, the South, pretty cool.
The South is like, when you like go into that one part of town and you're like, holy shit, this is really different, but I feel like I'm in the same place.
Yeah. So do you have any?
My least favorite rookie?
Yep.
Okay, Brandon Scherf.
What do you have against Brandon Scherf? Sorry.
He's a Hawkeye. Not to
What do
mention,
you have?
not to mention that, you know what?
What do you have against Iowa?
I don't have anything against that. I mean,
Fight Iowa, nice guy. You won't.
okay, so what I have against Scherf is that he is totally a Redskins. He is a Redskin. You know why he is a Redskin? Because he was taken before.
It's 2015. You can't say stuff like that.
Okay, shut up. He was taken before Leonard Williams.
Yeah.
That's just like one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, you want to just like give Todd Bowles like even more of a team? Yeah, here you go. He doesn't
Todd
already
Bowles.
he doesn't already have Muhammad Wilkerson or Sheldon Richardson. Let's just give him another big guy in the
Nope.
front.
Yeah. So Brandon Scherf. He hasn't been that bad, has he?
No, he's been okay, I think. But then you gotta be like, oh yeah, they're the Redskins.
He isn't quite like Luke Jokel level of like trash.
Eric Fisher.
Eric Fisher, Luke Jokel level of trash. Who was the 3rd overall pick that year?
Khalil? No.
Nope.
Fuck, was it a guard again?
Yeah. Holy crap! You know who it was?
Ooh.
You're like seriously. You're probably about to be sad.
Okay.
It was Deion Jordan.
Oh, they traded up for him.
Let me read you off the top 5 draft picks in 2013.
That was really bad. That was a bad.
Number 1 overall pick, Eric Fisher to the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 2 overall pick,
Joke.
the Jacksonville Jaguars took Luke Jokel.
Then it goes Deion Jordan.
And then it went Lane Johnson to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh God.
And then the 5th pick, Detroit Lions took Ezekiel Ansah.
He's good.
6th pick, though, the Cleveland Browns took Barkevious Mingo.
Mingo's good.
And the 8th overall pick was Tavon Austin. And the 9th overall pick, D. Milliner. The 7th overall pick, Jonathan Cooper.
Oh my God.
10th overall pick, Chance Warmack.
Oh God, this is really bad.
Yeah, so that was a very dark draft.
Besides, what was it? Yeah, Ziggy Ansah's good.
Yeah, but like, none of those other guys I mentioned.
No, Milliner, I thought he might turn out being good, and he didn't. Okay, so yeah, those are our rookies.
Yeah.
Okay, now I do have a question.
All right.
I don't know.
Devlin has a question.
If you could send one football player to a desert island, who would you send?
If you could send one football player to a desert island, there are multiple ways to go about this, and the way that I would like to go about this is, who could you send to a desert island that like no one would like notice like wow, he's gone and he's been gone for a year,
Titus Young.
and no one's heard from, well, like, I don't know if he's a football player at this point.
Okay.
But you could probably send. You go first while I think about this for a little bit.
Okay, well, realistically, who I would want to send.
Yeah,
Okay, so if I could send anyone,
Tom Brady.
no. I'm not gonna be your typical Bills fan where it's like, I hate Tom Brady, I don't respect him, he's not good.
That's a great pantomime of a dumb Bills fan.
So, if I
Yep.
could send any player, realistically, I would probably send I'd send Doug Martin. This is like
Wow.
It's
Wow.
and then I'd drop him off and be like, learn how to be a real pirate now, bitch.
Wow. I think you could drop off Christian Ponder and no one would notice for like 6 months. Like,
Is Christian
Like-
on? Did you talk to Christian? What? Who?
yeah, like
I feel like,
He hasn't shown up to any meetings in months. Why didn't we notice?
honestly,
Sam Ponder didn't even notice she was gone.
I would probably send J.J. Watt just for fun. You know why? Because he would come back with, like,
An eye patch.
he would come back with an eye patch and, like, a boat he made out of, like, bones of turtles.
That definitely sounds likely. So, like,
So you want to send Christian Ponder?
absolutely.
Okay.
I cannot think of anyone who is more deserving to leave. Actually, I want to send E.J. Manuel to that desert island.
Why? So he learns how to be a man?
I think E.J. Manuel... Actually, Ryan Fitzpatrick's that way we... Like, I love Ryan Fitzpatrick.
You know what? I was never really given a reason to hate him. Him and Chan Gailey, like, whenever I think of Chan Gailey, I just imagine him, like, dancing on the floor, shooting guns, just going, yeehaw, yeehaw!
And that's great. So, Ryan Fitzpatrick is kind of like dad who is cool, but, like, probably shouldn't be a dad. It's like he doesn't actually know what he's doing. He probably shouldn't be, like, taking care of children kind of a dad.
But he shows, like, flashes of it.
Yeah. Like, oh, shit. Dad's making pizza. Kids, I'm going to make great pizza. But then he, like, puts, like, ragu and, like, shredded Kraft onto a piece of bread. And he's like, I made pizza. Like, come on. That's not how it works. But, like...
Look, kids, I made pizza. Dad, that's Kraft macaroni and cheese.
That's macaroni and cheese, Dad. Shut up. I bought you a bike. That's how Ryan Fitzpatrick is. And maybe if we stuck him on an island for many, many years, there's a chance that he could get real good and then come back and then be dad who can make, like, artisanal pizza.
I'd put Jibram Hamdam.
Why are you going to do that to my man Gibran Hamdam?
I will never forget I went to a preseason game and he ran for like 30 yards and I was like, whoa.
So that's pretty much it, I think, for today's episode.
That would complete. Oh wait, we gotta pepper this in.
All right, pepper it in.
We gotta say Ohio State QB land.
They almost lost to NIU, y'all.
Yeah, that was bad.
Woody Hayes from hell is like, you gotta take care of NIU! Also, Woody Hayes, I don't think would necessarily go to hell. I just think Woody Hayes would prefer it in hell. Woody Hayes is like, we're all grit soldiers in hell. We're all on the third team just scrapping. We don't take water breaks in hell. And I think that's all we got.
All right, that would conclude it then.
Yeah.
Great.
See y'all next week where we're definitely once again not going to talk about the Knolls.
We're definitely not going to get on this Joe Flacco thing.
One day. Actually, before I forget, next week.
NHL preview?
Yeah, NHL preview. Neither of us like hockey, so we are bringing on a hot special guest. And just to preview this hot special guest, he is not allowed to drive open-wheel racing vehicles in the state of Illinois. See y'all next week.